I'm from the UK, right? And I watch a lot of nonce sting videos. Basically, people that make these fake accounts of children online, and then these predators, these pedos, they talk to them. They talk sexually to children, and they try to meet children for sex, which is obviously very wrong. And they're instead met by a group of adults who, you know, bring evidence with them of what they were saying to the child online, and then they get arrested because they were trying to have sex with a minor, which is wrong. Now, it shows you that this world is full of risks when bringing a child into it. Because I watch a lot of those UK non-sting videos, and the hunters, I agree with what they're doing, obviously, because they're saving real children's lives and minds. Because if a child is like abused in that way by an adult when they're young, that would severely negatively affect them for the rest of their life, right? Of course, negative events that happen to you when you're an adult, they still affect you badly, but it's worse when you're a kid, when you're underdeveloped. But yeah, I agree with what those hunters are doing, but I don't agree with obviously the fact of bringing kids into this world. It's very simple, really. The only reason you would want kids is if you're selfish. Most people wouldn't even admit that. I mean, I asked my mum, why did you have me? And she gave me like an NPC response. She said, like, if we didn't have kids, the human race wouldn't continue. And I'm like, why does it need to continue? There's so many bad people in this world. Why does the human race need to continue? The world would be better off without human beings. Every reason to have a kid is selfish, and it's not in the kid's best interest. It's in the kid's best interest to not be born. It's as simple as that, really. Um, because then they'll never have to suffer. They'll never have to, because life brings suffering and challenges, and risks. And some people get hurt more than others in this life for no reason. It's just because life is unfair. I mean, there's a saying, right? Life sucks, get a helmet. And that's true. I mean, life sucks. But the problem is, having kids is selfish, and no one asked to be here. Not one fucking human being asked to be in this world. I didn't ask to be in this world. You didn't ask to be in this world, did you? Did you think one day that I want to be in this world? Hell no. And if I had the choice, I would have never wanted to be in this world with all the disgusting, scummy human beings in this world that cause suffering onto others and then get away with it. Not to mention all the diseases that life has and all the challenges life has. Life is unfair, it's terrible. Like, I live in London, right? And I go on the buses quite a lot. And I look at, like, because London's a big city full of millions of people. And you see lots of people, like tourists, whatever, they're smiling or whatever. They're with their girlfriends or their family, their kids. Oops. They're with their kids. Um, and they're having a good time. They're living their lives. It's nothing to do with me. But I just look at them. I look at all this stuff like outside my window when I'm on the bus, and it's like this is like the makeup of this world. The makeup on like an ugly girl. Like you take that makeup off the ugly girl, and it's ugly underneath. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with ugly girls. Maybe that was a bad metaphor, but just stick with me here. It's like you take all that stuff away that you see like in society. Like people working, people with their families, with their girlfriends. You take that all away, and what is life really? Life is a bunch of suffering, people doing bad things to each other. Human body processes every day, eating, sleeping, getting rid of stuff, getting stuff into the body, you know. Like even just being in the human body is a pretty tiring process. You got to do all these bodily functions, and no one asked to be here. I always say to myself, like, my parents are fucking clowns for bringing me into this world, and they were. When you look at the state of this world and all the evil people running around in it, how could you be so stupid and bring a kid here? Maybe they weren't stupid. Maybe they were really just that selfish. I really don't know. But you should not bring a kid into this world, man, if anyone's listening to this. It's terrible, man. Being in this world, being born into this world without against your consent, without your will, It's terrible. It's a joke. But because, at least for me, the fact that I wasn't born here, I didn't choose to be here. That makes me take it less seriously, because I didn't even want to be here in the first place. Obviously, I want to keep living. I don't want to kill myself or anything. But I didn't ask to be here, and it's just a joke, man. This entire world is a joke. There's no sense of community. There's no justice in this world. People get away with the worst things. They get away with causing you to bleed, and suffer physically. People just get away with that shit, and no one even bats an eye. No one cares. It's terrible. I guess this is what humanity is. Humanity is just an indifferent piece of shit for the most part. Yeah, I mean, some people would help you if he was in trouble, but most people don't. I'm not just relating this back to me and my bad incidents in life. That just makes me see the world for what it is. I see the world for what it is. It's terrible. Like I said, when you take away all that makeup, all those people do living their lives, so to speak. But occasionally you see some people out there, like within the millions of people in London, at least, some people are blind, some people are in wheelchairs, some people have deformities or whatever. You sometimes see that. That's just the unfairness of life. That's just another person that their parents gambled with their life, and here they are now. It doesn't matter how successful someone is. Their parents still risked their life. They could have been born blind or with a disease or whatever. They could have been born like with no arms. Who knows. And all just, even if you was born a normal person, all the bad things that can happen to you in this world. It's just terrible, man. I mean, if someone wants a kid, they should just foster a kid. This world is full of risks and negativity and dangers and all this negative stuff. That's what the world is, man. I see it for what it is. Luckily, I discovered antinatalism last year at 22. I'm 23 now. But I would never make that mistake and bring someone into this world. Listen, I'm fucking telling you right now, I would never fucking do that. Swear to God. Even though I'm not religious, I don't believe in any God. But I would never do that. Because it's a violation. Forcing kids into this world is a fucking violation. It's the biggest violation ever, because if you don't do that, then no harm can come upon them, and they can't harm anybody else. So when you see all stuff in the media and YouTube videos, I mean, I was on the bus the other day and there was this kid at the front of the bus and his dad was at the back of the bus, and there was a woman next to him and his mum, and he was shouting at the back of the bus like, "Daddy, Daddy," and the woman next to the kid was like, she was smiling at him, obviously. It's just so cringe, man. It's just so cringe, because who knows what that kid could go through in life. That kid could be stabbed, he could be I don't know, he could be tortured, abused, who knows. Or he could become a bad person, you don't know. All these risks. Or he could get cancer at, like, I don't know, 25. Who knows? It's just the sort of stuff that I think about, because I'm aware of this fucking world, and I know that antinatalists are aware of this world. We're aware that this world is a fucking violation. We were violated into being forced into this world. We never wanted to be here in the first place. If I had a choice, I would have never wanted to be here. I would have been fine being aborted. I used to watch Coach Red Pill, RIP to him, Gonzalo Lira. I agreed with a lot of what he said, but he said that he was firmly against abortion, and he had 2 kids. He's dead now, but his kids have no father, so I feel sorry for them. But I disagree with him, obviously, about having kids. Having kids is the worst thing ever. So when you see it in public, like, and in the media, like, people praising having kids, like they're holding the baby like this, like, my little angel. It's like, no, it's not. No, it's not. You fucking forced that kid into this world, and it's just terrible. And you're not even gonna give a fuck about that kid in like in like 2 decades. Pretty much. It's terrible. This is why you don't owe your parents anything, by the way, because they forced you here. I mean, this is the truth. They forced you here. Did you ask to be here? No. You didn't ask to be in this crazy world with all these bad things that can happen to you, not to mention all the struggle and daily monotony that comes with life. I mean, your parents forced you into that. If they didn't have intercourse and busted each other, then you wouldn't be here having to go through anything. It's pretty simple. It's like 1 + 1 = 2. Mum plus dad equals you. Exactly. 1 + 1 = 2. Mum plus dad equals you. So That's not good, man. If you want to be a dad, you should be a cat dad or a dog dad or a foster dad. You shouldn't be a biological dad, you know? Mm. It's really sad about antinatalism, man, because like it's honestly futile, you know? That's not one of the reasons why I deleted my channel, by the way, but it is kind of futile because most people just don't even know about it. So most people don't even think in this way, like I was forced into this world against my consent. I'm not even here by my own choice. So consent's kind of a joke, ain't it? Most people don't even think in that way because they haven't even been like haven't even discovered that way of thinking. And it's just like antinatalism is not that popular. It needs to be more popular, you know? So hopefully I can try and popularize it again, you know? Yeah, because it's the fucking truth, man. I mean, when I discovered it last year, it really opened my eyes, man. Because it's the answer to everything. Don't force someone into this world. They'll never have any problems, you know? Like I said in my first video on this new channel, being an antinatalist benefits the unborn more than it benefits you, you know? It does. It does. It benefits you because you know the truth now and you're more self-aware than most people, although that can cause you to be lonely. But it benefits the unborn more than you because they'll never have to put up with this world, you know? Yeah, they won't. They won't. I mean, I could keep going on and on. You know, I talk about this to myself all the time, you know? It's just, you know, you're not here by your own volition. You're here because two other people forced you to be here, you know? People need to, I mean, there needs to be a deep change in society, like the way people look at like reproduction. People look at it as like a beautiful thing. People should look at it as a terrible thing, you know? I think I'm kind of an F for this too, to be honest, because it would be better if there was no life on this planet, you know? It really would. Then there would be no suffering, you know, no pain, no screaming out in agony, you know? Does that sound good to you? No, obviously not, because that's what life is all about. Well, that's not all what life is about, but that's a lot of what is happening in the world, you know, to humans, to animals. I mean, the other day I saw my cat, he fucking killed a mouse, right? And it was it was a gruesome sight, you know. I won't explain it, but it was a gruesome sight. A fucking little vicious tiger in my fucking my house, you know, and I love him to death, but like he's fucking vicious, you know. He will fucking kill those mice with no remorse, you know. That's what this world is. And if you bring a child into this world, they could be killed by a human being, or not just physically, but mentally. The human being could destroy their soul or their spirit, you know? Because that's what humans do. I mean, shout out to Steve Brown. I used to watch him. I'll watch him again. Another anti-natalist channel. He always used to say that like, no, I mean, he always says that like people just want to put you down in this world, and they do. Other human beings just want to cause you pain and suffering because that's their problem, you know? It's just terrible, man. This world is a terrible place. It's a terrible state of affairs that we find ourselves in, ladies and gentlemen, but, you know, I'm here to relate to people, I guess, and try and spill my own thoughts about this. You know, I couldn't help myself but coming back, you know. I only took a month off. Here I am again, permanently this time. I definitely can't wait to make more videos. I mean, definitely. So I hope you got something out of this video. Hope you can relate, you know, because this world is terrible, you know. I'm trying not to be a downer, by the way. I don't want to be a downer. I don't want to make somebody depressed, but the truth is kind of depressing and saddening, you know. I mean, this world is not a lovely, jubbly place. It's terrible. It's full of a lot of suffering and pain. That's why you shouldn't bring a kid into this world. There's so many reasons. There's no good reason to bring someone into this world. Not one, because they don't even exist. So they're not even missing out on nothing, you know. There's no reason to bring someone here. So I'm going to see you in the next video. Peace.